Wake up, people. There are major changes. What is up, peeps? Welcome back to more CS news on the weekend. As per usual, we'll be doing daily videos. Thank you all for being here. And we've had some major changes to the upcoming CS majors. Yes, as we say goodbye and farewell to the RMRs, but there's been other big CS news dropping. Today's going to be a range of emotions, just so you guys know. A little happiness, a little drama, a little sadness, and a little anger. I'm telling you, we got some great stories. The first one being, yes, the major changes are in. We are going from 24 teams to 32 teams. And I would say initial reactions so far have been pretty positive because I think a lot of us were kind of fearful of how this major change would go down. And we're going to see how the Austin major kind of shakes out before this format really solidifies in. But here's a quick little breakdown. As you will have the MRQs replacing the RMRs, so what now will be the major regional qualifiers, which will feature 16 teams in North America, 16 teams in Europe, and 8 teams in Asia. That's going to be 40 teams in total across their own regions, and of those 16 EU teams, it will be 6 progressing to Stage 1. The same goes for NA, 16 down to 6, and for Asia, it'll be 8 teams down to 4, all progressing to this new Stage 1, of which for the actual major, there is Stage 1, Stage 2, and Stage 3. Yes, we now also get longer majors by like half a week at least. It's long time. So you have all of those Stage 1 teams whittled down to around 16, but for Stage 2 and Stage 3, there already be invited teams based on the Valve rankings and also previous major performance. One of the biggest things noted here is regional performance at majors, as always, but especially now, holds a lot of weight. So this previous major, this past major we all watched in Shanghai, of all of the playoff teams, 6 of them were European teams. That means 6 EU teams are then going to be directly invited to Stage 3 of the next major based on who are the best European teams, and then 1 NA and 1 Asian team as well. So like past performance matters a ton, and that's how you have it. Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3 will be longer majors, will be more teams. I'm sure we'll have a better breakdown. People like M0nesy are going to break this down in more in detail than I can, but overall it seems to be pretty good. Like I love the fact that we get more representation out there, more teams in there. I suck saying goodbye to RMRs, but this feels like it could work well, and Austin will be a showcase of that. So what do you guys think about the major changes? Make sure to leave a comment down below. What caught your eye? What do you not like, so other people can give their feedback and see what you guys think. And I know what you guys think about this next one because this has just become a heart-wrenching story, and it's really made me realize how awesome CS is when you can attach to characters the way that I have to NiKo and M0nesy, right? NiKo being that mentor, that peer, that older brother who has really walked M0nesy into what's going to be a long, bright career and probably one of the best all time. And of course, their interactions online, you can see how close they are. And that's why when NiKo is now officially left for Falcons and M0nesy is going to be staying for now, it hurts, man, because we saw them hug goodbye after the Shanghai major, and now we have M0nesy posting on Telegram, posting on Twitter his official goodbyes as NiKo departs to join Falcons and whatever that roster is going to be finalized as. And it just hurts, man. As you watch them, you don't realize how awesome it is until they eventually part ways, and then you realize how beautiful CS storylines are. Like, you have all in one offseason, and this is just a couple of them, right? There are other minor storylines that people can attach to based on the fandoms they have, but you have Alish departing Complexity after a short period of time, but that's a tough thing to see an NA butterfly go to an EU roster, right? Even more so, you have Rops under Kerrigan back from the Mouse days to the FaZe era of almost 3 years together, and they're parting ways. And then you have NiKo and M0nesy who are together, and of course their relationship is well noted, and then they're parting ways, and they're all going to different teams, and they're going to play against each other this year. And maybe I'm getting way too into this, but it's really cool, and it sucks to see M0nesy and NiKo departing. I don't think it'll be long till they're back together. That's just, I'll put it out there. I think you guys have, some of you guys have thought that. So M0nesy officially saying goodbye to NiKo and breaking my freaking heart. Just in case you guys were curious, I do drink coffee during the videos. Just so you guys know, double espresso, chocolate milk. And this next piece of news out there is one that did not make me happy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Jason Lake fan. I'm a Complexity fan. I'm an NA biased motherfricker. Just before we hop into that, let's paint the room as it is. It was actually Kassad taking to Twitter a few days back to talk about Complexity and their downgrades after losing Alish and benching Floppy, and they have now actually set, thanks to Dust 2, their eyes on a new duo, which will be Nyx and Sixy. I've always said Sixy. Can someone correct me on the pronunciation? I'm not too aware of his story, but it is a downgrade. Like, there's no other way to put it. This is a downgrade. When you get rid of someone like Elige and you bench someone like Floppy, you got long-standing members, and Elige, obviously one of the best in North America, it's a downgrade. No matter who they got was likely to be this. That's no offense to these players, and it's unfortunate. But also, there was a lot of beer talk around Sixy. Can someone give me the back lore around this guy? Because I also enjoy a good brew. I would love a quick comment. I'll reply to you guys, and thank you. I don't know every story out there, especially when it comes to some of the NA guys, so let me know. But that's not what we're talking about. As Kassad said, Complexity might as well change their name to EG at this point. And I'm not gonna lie, comparing any team out there to EG, you are trying to either rile up people, or that's a severe backhand. If you guys don't know the long history Evil Geniuses has, not just in CS, but in esports in general, about mismanagement, a severe downfall. I mean, there's a lack of a lot of things, right? And of course, you have the notorious Stewie 2K story as well, which that has a fault on him and whatever. It's a long story and a history of EG, right? Comparing anyone to EG is not a nice thing to do. We all know that. And so I was like, what? Why are you comparing Complexity to EG? Like, how is this even directly correlated whatsoever? And a lot of people in the replies, I would say luckily, actually stood up for that, because, you know, us over at NA, we're struggling right now, all right? We don't have a lot to hang on to. You think we're happy to see Complexity, you know, bench a guy like Floppy, a big personality, a guy that's easy to attach to, and of course lose one of our best? Like, nobody likes seeing that. So like, it feels like punching a guy when he's already down. Like, oh, you lost to Elige, you might as well be EG now. I didn't really fully understand it. And he did further clarify to someone like Ryan, and he said, just like EG, Complexity is going backward. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you just lost to Elige. Of course that's, I mean, what my big thing about this is, what did you expect Jason Lake and Complexity to do after they lost someone like Elige? How do you replace someone like Elige given the current state of NA? I mean, and given the current state likely of the financial situation behind Complexity, which, if I'm being honest, it's not near the same as a lot of these other big NA organizations who have branched out to EU or international rosters and have no interest in being in North America, right? You look towards a Cloud9, much bigger funding, much bigger backing, and presumably, like, you look at historically transaction-wise in esports, much bigger paydays for some of their players than Complexity have really ever been able to do consistently. Same for someone like Team Liquid, right? And you're competing with people who want a Legion. He doesn't want to be there. I just didn't understand it. It felt a bit too harsh, in my opinion, because we all know, if you are a fan of Complexity, if you're an NA guy, you know how much Jason loves CS. You know how much he wants to represent North America, and I can guarantee you he is trying his best to try and make that happen with the means that he has. So if there was a means for him to get an upgrade over Elige after losing him, I'm sure he probably would have tried it, but I don't think the financial situation and backing over Complexity even allowed for a potential upgrade here. And so, yeah, does it suck to see? Sure. Do we have now some new names entering a top part of the scene and that can maybe try and make a mark? Yes. So I don't know. It just, the EG thing sucks, man. That's just so, he could have said any other team name there. It would have been okay, but EG is, that's mean. But anyway, that's just me. Sorry for ranting on NA. I just got a warm spot in my heart for all things NA, and especially Jay Lake over there. And especially when you, again, it's a big loss. And so I'm going to be cheering for Complexity and any teams out there in NA, and we'll see how they bounce back, especially once those II Power guys are back, all right? Let's get them signed, and then we'll at least be making some headlines over here in this region. Now, speaking of some last little tidbit stories out there, Nouns have now also announced their North American roster for CS, which I will be supporting. As one of the last guys I interviewed as well, Rush is now officially back. I mean, and this didn't catch on too much, all right? Remember the Optic Glory days? Rush and Speak of the Devil over at Complexity as well. And I know I'm just focusing on Rush, but that's because I'm a big fanboy of those former Glory days of NA that he played a huge part in. And we'll see how the rest of the rounded out roster goes as well. I'm excited for Nouns. I've been a fan of Nouns as well. I hope they actually make a bigger dent than they have in previous, and we'll see how the roster does. Like, we have a lot of shakeup in the NA scene, and we'll see which of these teams can actually make a bit of a rise and hopefully hang on to playoffs players if they do so. Again, last time we talked about this, we got TSM doing things, we got NIP doing things, Heroic doing things, a lot of overhauls coming that we'll be breaking down in the future of CS News. But today I wanted to focus on big major changes, m0nesy losing NiKo, or NiKo losing m0nesy, and Complexity facing some backlash that I just didn't agree with. So till next time, what do you guys think about this? Drink up for me, all right? Stay caffeinated, enjoy your weekend, and thank you all for being here. We've had a record amount of comments this past week, so I appreciate you, and I'll see you back here soon. Take care.